Well, during Gary's first 12 months, there haven't been too many days like this, have there? And it really was just one of those days when nothing seemed to go right.
Yeah, we've come out of the worst end of some of the decisions there, but no complaints. And I'm not sure about the second one with the penalty. I thought that was very soft, and obviously things happened at crucial times really today. The first 30 minutes there'd not been a shot, I think, from either side. Moses had flashed one over the bar. We looked very comfortable, and then suddenly a back pass that dropped short. Aaron's left with a decision to make, and we go down to 10 men after 30 minutes. Having said that, Andy comes on, makes a great save from the penalty, and we feel if we go in at 0-0, we can take stock, sort things out, and we always look strong second half. But of course, then the goal came at the worst possible time. I think the last kick of the first half. So disappointed, obviously, with the sending off. Not too many complaints. I'm not sure. I thought he could have maybe gone round, but chose to take the collision instead. But there you go. Anyway, and then the goal right on half time was a bit of a blow. But we went in at half time and we still felt that we could get a result from the game. But the second goal, the penalty, which I felt was really soft, and speaking to the players, they're more up in arms about it than me, because I'm 60 yards away, but obviously they're all crowded round, and they say it's an absolute no penalty. But we've had to deal with that, and then 5 minutes later, Paris comes off and we're down to 9 men because we've made all our subs. So yeah, it's one of those days where everything seemed to go against us, but it's no good us feeling sorry for ourselves. We've got to get on with it.
And going back to that penalty incident in the first half, I mean, do you attribute any blame at all to Aaron Howe? Because there's possibly an argument that really when you're one-on-one with a player, you really let them go round you and plonk it in the net, and because of that we then went down to 10 men and the game changed.
Yeah, I mean, the first thing is he's left. The initial mistake is the back pass, so he's left in a difficult situation.
How you doing? You all right?
Like I said, I'm not sure that Aaron actually came out and flew into the player. I think there was a contact, but I think maybe the player felt this is a good chance to get a penalty and them down to 10 men, and took the hit, which you see happening all the time on TV, and I wouldn't blame him for that. But obviously, if you score and the other team go down to 10 men, that's even better. As it happens, we were down to 10, but they didn't score, so we still had a foothold in the game to go and get a result.
And looking at the conditions today, I know you don't blame the conditions, but I'm sure all Woking fans were thinking, well, we've really got the wind against us in the first half, so if we can just really see it out, make sure that we come in 0-0 at half time, and in the second half we can give it a right good go. But as you say, that wasn't to be, and it was a really sloppy goal that we conceded on half time, wasn't it, where we gave the ball away in midfield and then allowed someone to really put over a cross far too easily, and then Robbie Matthews, as always a threat in the air, was unmarked.
Yeah. Well, he was marked actually by Newts, but that was the thing, he pulled off onto the far post. But to concede at that time, we were looking very comfortable for 30 minutes, and like I said, I don't think there'd been a shot in the game apart from Moses' shot. But obviously then to go in at 0-0 would have been, we could have regrouped from there. But yeah, the cross came in, and we'd done very well at stopping crosses coming in the first half, because they are a big team. And for one to come in right on half time, it left Newts isolated really on the far post with Robbie Matthews pulling off, and he was always going to win that battle with being 6'3". So a terrible time to concede, and a big blow to take as we walked off at half time. But you don't give up on it, and we certainly didn't. We were trying to be as buoyant as possible, and we were buoyant at half time and felt that we could come back and get a result from the game, whether that be a win or a draw, but the second one has really killed us off.
And in terms of who to take off, who to leave on, was it a difficult decision to take Moses off?
Oh, it's always a difficult decision to take Moses off. He's our top scorer. He's scored 11 goals for us this season. He's not been 100% fit as of late. That would have come into the thinking when we were speaking there. We obviously had a couple of minutes while Andy was getting ready to make that decision. So, it wasn't as rushed as it might have been. But we make that decision and you stand by that one. As it happens, Paris is the one that's broke down in the end, but we felt that might have been Moses with the problem that he's had recently. So we didn't want to have to make a second substitution due to injury so soon after having to make the first one.
And talking of players breaking down, it must be a concern that we are seemingly picking up a few knocks now. Obviously Mark Ricketts is out, Binns is out, we were missing Jay Davis today, Paris has gone off.
Yeah. Well, you know, you're very lucky if you can get through a season without players picking up injuries. We did very well for 4 or 5 months, and then Rico was the first big one really. Inzi, I think, had an injury earlier in the season, didn't he? And that was really all we had earlier in the season, then Rico. But obviously with Binzi, Moses and Paris picking up injuries in recent weeks as well, that doesn't help. But you know, it's no good me here saying that, oh, well, you know, what about the injuries? Most teams have to cope with injuries, and we have to cope with them. And whether that means players come in and do a job, or whether we go and get players, which we have done with Kieran Murtagh and Mike Sester.
And although it's a cliche, I suppose it is the test of a side, how they bounce back from a performance and day like this. Next week it's Boreham Wood away, another tricky fixture, and in fact there don't seem to be any games in this division, because you look at Chelmsford today, they lost at home, I think, to Staines.
Yeah, well, I mean, there you go. Staines have gone and beaten Chelmsford second in the league and Woking first in the league away from home. That shows you can't take any game for granted. And yeah, I mean, every game you have to earn the right to the 3 points. There's no easy games in this league. You can only make them easy if you do a fantastic job in the first half and score goals when you get chances. And even then, you don't take things for granted. We know we've still got a lot of work to do to cross the finishing line. To be fair, we were well aware of that before today, and we're even more aware of that after today.
Lovely, thank you very much, Steve.
Okay, thank you.